Hey everybody, these are the instructions for Friday, August 21st. So let's take a look at our Edmodo post. All right, so here's what we're going to do today. You guys are going to learn how to access your business news articles, which is an assignment that's going to be due every other Friday. And in that you'll learn the decision-making process and apply the process to a real-world problem, okay? So first thing we're going to do, I want to go over the instructions for the business news article. So if you go to Edmodo, I have 4 attachments here. And the one that you want to open up, I believe, is the one here, business news articles. So go ahead and open that up. There we go. All right, so here are the instructions. Every other week, we take some time to discuss current events and introduction to business. You're required to bring an article that has implications for the unit you are presently discussing or have covered in the past, and this is worth 20 points. Now, when we first start out, obviously we haven't covered any material, so you can pretty much, it's pretty much open. Any type of business-related article is fine. I would try to keep it at no more than 1 page. If you find the article, I wouldn't have a real long one. And here are some of the requirements. You must have carefully read the article and prepared a 2 to 3 minute oral summary outlining both the content of the article and its relevance to what we're studying. You can do this by making appropriate notes directly on the article. And you're going to turn in the article as part of your grade. And then following each presentation, you are going to give me 2 questions on, you can actually just put it on the back of the article. And I'm going to use that for a extra credit quiz. And what I do is at the end of the session, I pick 5 questions and they become the extra credit quiz. It's fun and the activity helps make the point that our introduction to business class is relevant to what is actually happening in the real world. All right, so here are some places that you can find articles. So I'm just going to show you an example. If you were to go to chicagotribune.com, I'm going to click on that. Okay, you'll notice up at the top here, there's a bunch of different choices. I'm going to click on business since we're trying to find a business article. And it's totally up to you. If you can find something that, like I said, I prefer once we get into the curriculum, you find something that's related to what we're covering in class, but right now we haven't really talked about anything. So what I'm going to do is, oops, I'm going to close that. All right. So let's see. Here's one. Let's see. I want to try to find something that's kind of business related. Here we go. Employees find new rules as they return to the office. So I'm just going to click on that. Please try to make it within like the last couple weeks. And here's the article here. Okay. So let's see how long it is. Okay, that's kind of long, but anyway, you want to try to find something that's about a page. So you can kind of go through and look. Now, you're going to have to print this. Sometimes there is a print button depending on what website you're using. This one doesn't seem like there is. So what you'd have to do is just right click and hit print. Oops, sorry, that's a save as. Okay, and then here's the article. Now, the other option would be to open it up in Kami. If you save it, so you could do a save as, save it into your Google Drive, and then you could edit it using Kami as well. So I'm going to give you 2 options for that. Okay, so that is an example of what, going through the instructions, what you're going to do for the business news article. So that's number 1. Then what you're going to have to do is go through the article and do what we call a sub-search. You're actually marking it up. So I have given an example here. So let's click on business news article example. All right, so here's one that I did. Notice it's only like 3/4 of a page long. Okay, Walgreens to open in Sears former State Street spot. Okay, so here is the article. What I want you to do is actively read it and mark it up. Okay, if you see something that's interesting, make a little note, exclamation point. If you have a question that comes up, Walgreens will open a store in the former Sears location on State Street. Maybe you don't know where that is. So you're gonna go ahead and put the word where, okay? And underline something that's important. This second statement in this article made me ask the question, okay, well, this is when, the address, this is pretty soon. Here's some dates down here. I put a box around this because these words were important in this sentence. Quotations. I made little notes on here. If there's something that in the article that is some type of a list, you might want to number that list 1, 2, 3. And again, I made some notes on here. Now, why do we want to mark this up? The reason is because you're going to be presenting this to the class, okay? Whether it's virtual, I might have you record yourself, or we're in class. So you need to have all you're not going to write out word for word your presentation. This is just a couple minute explanation summary of your article. So you can hold your article and then you can use these markups to help you tell the rest of the class the important parts of the article, okay? So the whole idea is for us to learn some new information about what's going on in the business world, and you explain that to the class, okay? All right, so we've discussed and then let's go over the rubric, how I'm gonna grade it, okay? So I'm gonna click article rubric. All right, so this is worth 20 points and this is how I'm gonna grade it. 5 points for your choice of content, so make sure it's business related. You need to have the 2 to 3 minute presentation is worth another 5 points. It's marked up to reflect your notes, that's another 5 points. And then you provided 2 quiz questions, that's another 5 points, with a total of 20 points. And just to mention, any reference to inappropriate topics or what is prohibited in the student handbook will result in a failing grade and will receive disciplinary action. So please keep this school appropriate. All right, so we've went through the article, we've discussed the markups. I want to show you when we get to the first presentation date, while you are listening to other classmates present, you are also going to be making notes, and that's what this is, business article presentation. So let's go ahead and open that up. Okay, so you will be opening this up in Kami and writing your comments here. So you would put the name of the article as the person was presenting. You would put any key words that you hear during their article. And then I want you to list some type of connection that you made while listening to that article. Maybe you heard about it in the news. Maybe you purchased the product that they're talking about. Maybe you heard someone talk about it recently. Okay, but some type of personal connection, and this also will be part of your grade. You have to turn this in along with your business news article. Okay. All right. So here's what I want you to do today. I want you to start searching for a business news article to use for your first presentation. Okay. Like I said before, I have given you a bunch of links of places that you can go, and if you have other newspapers or news magazines that you would prefer to use, I'm totally fine with that as long as it's school appropriate. Just find one that's not too long. Now, you can mark up your article using Kami. So if you're able to save it into your Google Drive, and then open up Kami and open up the article, and you can mark it up using Kami with your stylus, okay? If you can't get the article in PDF format, which that could happen, then if you want to print a paper copy, that's fine. If you have a printer at home, you can print it. If you don't, you could come here to school and print it next week, okay? The due date of your first business news article is Friday, September 4th. That's 2 weeks from today. So your homework in this class, not really homework, but for the rest of the class period, I know you all are doing this at home, but for the rest of the class, you're going to be finding a business news article to use, okay? And if you have any questions, you can email me or you can send me a post through Edmodo. And if you have any questions, like I said, just contact me, and that's it.